It was almost midnight in a quiet suburb outside London. Rain tapped softly against the living room window like impatient fingers, and the only light inside the small house came from a flickering television that nobody was actually watching. Ali sat on the worn grey sofa, loosening his tie after another exhausting 12-hour shift. He worked as a delivery driver for a logistics company, long hours, heavy lifting, endless traffic. The kind of job that left your back aching and your mind numb. But Ali never complained. Because every night when he came home, he told himself the same thing. I'm doing this for Sarah. Sarah was his wife. The woman he had loved for 7 years. The woman he believed was the center of his entire world. From the kitchen came the faint sound of cupboard doors closing. Sarah was preparing tea. Ali smiled tiredly. Despite the exhaustion, despite the aching muscles, he always felt a small sense of peace when he walked through that front door. For him, that house wasn't just bricks and furniture. It was home. Long day? Sarah asked from the kitchen. Her voice sounded distant, distracted. Same as always, Ali replied gently. But it's all right. Sarah walked into the room holding 2 mugs of tea. Her expression was neutral, neither warm nor cold. Just tired. She handed him the cup without sitting down. You should look for a better job, she said. The words were casual. But they landed heavily. Ali forced a small laugh. I've been trying, he said. You know how hard the job market is right now. Sarah sighed. I just thought by now we'd have more. Ali didn't respond. He had heard versions of that sentence many times before. More money. More status. More success. Ali knew he wasn't extraordinary. He didn't drive a fancy car. He didn't wear expensive suits. But what he did have was loyalty, dedication, and a heart that loved deeply. Unfortunately, those things didn't seem to impress Sarah anymore. After a few minutes of silence, Sarah picked up her phone and walked upstairs. Ali noticed. She had been doing that a lot lately. Taking her phone with her everywhere. Locking it quickly whenever he walked past. Staying awake late at night texting. But every time Ali asked, she gave the same explanation. Just friends. Ali believed her. Because when you truly love someone, you don't want to imagine the worst. The small things that slowly change. Over the next few weeks, something in the house began to shift. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. But it was noticeable. Sarah became colder. More distant. Sometimes she barely looked at Ali when he spoke. Other times she would stare at her phone and smile quietly at messages that clearly weren't meant for him. Ali noticed. But he kept telling himself the same comforting lie. It's just stress. She'll come back to herself. Things will get better. Because when people are afraid of losing someone, they often pretend the warning signs don't exist. The night everything changed. 3 weeks later, on a quiet Thursday evening, Ali came home earlier than usual. His delivery route had finished ahead of schedule, and for the first time in months he actually felt a little excited. He thought maybe he could surprise Sarah. Maybe they could watch a movie together. Maybe they could talk. Maybe they could reconnect. But when he entered the house, Sarah wasn't there. The lights were off upstairs. Her shoes were still by the door. She must have gone out briefly. Ali placed his keys on the table and sat down. Then he noticed something unusual. Sarah's phone was lying on the coffee table. That never happened. She usually kept it glued to her hand. Ali didn't plan to touch it. He really didn't. But just as he was about to stand up, the screen lit up. A notification appeared. A message. Ali's eyes moved toward the screen automatically. And in that one small moment, his entire life changed. Because the preview of the message was visible. And it read, ***, I miss you already. I wish my husband never finds out. ***. Ali froze. At first, his brain refused to process what he had just seen. Maybe he misread it. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe the message wasn't even from Sarah. But the name at the top of the screen said, ***, Daniel Redheart ***. Ali's heart began pounding. Slowly, almost mechanically, he picked up the phone. His hands were shaking. The screen unlocked. And suddenly, everything he never wanted to see was right in front of him. Dozens of messages. Weeks of conversations. Late-night confessions. Secret photos. Plans to meet. Plans to leave. Plans for a life that didn't include him. Every message felt like a knife. Ali's breathing became uneven. His chest tightened. His mind screamed one question over and over. How long? One message stood out among the rest. It was sent earlier that evening. From Sarah. It said, He's too simple for me. I deserve something better. Ali felt the ground disappear beneath him. 7 years of love. 7 years of loyalty. 7 years of sacrifice. Reduced to a single sentence. Too simple. Too ordinary. Too, not enough. Ali sat there staring at the screen, unable to move. The house felt strangely silent. Like the walls themselves were watching his heartbreak unfold. A few minutes later, the front door opened. Sarah walked in. She stopped immediately when she saw Ali holding her phone. Their eyes met. And in that moment, neither of them spoke. Because some truths are so heavy, words become unnecessary. Ali's voice finally broke the silence. Soft. Shaking. Who is Daniel? Sarah didn't answer right away. She simply looked at him. Then slowly, she sighed. And that sigh carried something terrifying. Not guilt. Not fear. But something far worse. Indifference. Ali's heart sank. Because deep down, he already knew. And what Sarah was about to say next would destroy the last pieces of his world. The truth he never wanted to hear. The silence in the living room felt heavier than any argument. Sarah stood near the door, rain droplets still clinging to her coat, staring at Ali as he held her phone in trembling hands. For a long moment, neither of them moved. Ali's heart was pounding so loudly he could hear it in his ears. He had always believed that if something like this ever happened, there would be some explanation. Some misunderstanding. Some message taken out of context. But the messages on Sarah's phone were painfully clear. They told a story he never wanted to read. Ali swallowed hard. His voice was quiet, almost fragile. "Who is Daniel?" Sarah slowly removed her coat and placed it on the chair. Her movements were calm. Too calm. She didn't rush to grab the phone. She didn't panic. She didn't deny anything. Instead, she simply walked into the living room and sat across from him. Her eyes moved to the phone in his hands. Then back to his face. "You weren't supposed to see that," she said flatly. Those words cut deeper than any confession. Ali stared at her, disbelief filling his expression. That's all you're going to say?" Sarah leaned back slightly. "What do you want me to say, Ali?" Ali's voice rose slightly. "I want you to tell me that this isn't what it looks like." Sarah looked at him for a few seconds. Then she quietly shook her head. "It is exactly what it looks like." The room suddenly felt smaller. Colder. Ali felt like all the air had been sucked out of the house. "So, it's real," he whispered. "Yes." "How long?" Sarah hesitated. "About 3 months." 3 months. 90 days. 90 days of lies. 90 days of pretending. 90 days of sleeping next to him while secretly loving someone else. Ali closed his eyes for a moment. His mind began replaying memories. The late-night texting. The sudden smiles at her phone. The emotional distance. All the warning signs he had ignored. Because trusting someone often means refusing to see the truth. Ali opened his eyes again. Did you ever plan to tell me?" Sarah looked away toward the window. The rain outside had grown heavier. "I didn't know how," she said. Ali laughed bitterly. "You didn't know how?" "No." So the plan was just keep lying. Sarah's voice became firmer. "I wasn't lying." Ali stared at her in disbelief. "You were messaging another man behind my back." Sarah crossed her arms. "I was talking to someone who actually understands me." Those words landed like a punch. Ali's chest tightened. "Actually understands you," he repeated. "Yes. And I don't." Sarah sighed, clearly frustrated. "Ali, you're a good person." That sentence felt like the beginning of a goodbye. But what she said next hurt even more. "You're just not enough for me." The words echoed in the room. Not enough. Ali felt something inside his chest crack. Not enough after years of working overtime to pay the bills. Not enough after skipping vacation so they could save money. Not enough after every sacrifice he had made for their future. Ali's voice became barely audible. "I gave you everything I had." Sarah looked at him with a strange mixture of pity and impatience. "And I never asked you to." Those words stunned him. Ali shook his head slowly. I did it because I love you. Sarah didn't respond. Instead, she picked up the phone from the table and held it in her hands. Ali watched her carefully. For the first time that night, a quiet fear began creeping into his heart. Not fear of betrayal, but fear that he had already lost her. Do you love him? Ali asked quietly. Sarah hesitated. Then she answered honestly. I think I might. Ali felt his world collapse in that moment. 7 years of marriage. And she might love someone she met online 3 months ago. How did this even start? He asked. Sarah leaned back and stared at the ceiling. I met him on a business forum. A business forum. Yes. Ali almost laughed at the absurdity. I thought you said you didn't use those websites. I didn't. At first. So what changed? Sarah looked directly at him. He talked about things you never did. What things? Ambition. Ali felt a sharp sting in his chest. Sarah continued. He travels. He runs his own company. He understands how the world works. Ali's hands tightened into fists. And I don't. Sarah shook her head. You're comfortable being average. The word average echoed in Ali's mind. Average job. Average life. Average dreams. Everything he had built suddenly felt worthless. Ali looked down at the floor. You married me knowing exactly who I was. Yes, Sarah replied. And now that's not good enough. No. The honesty was brutal. But perhaps honesty is sometimes more painful than lies. Ali rubbed his face slowly. What happens now? Sarah stood up. The movement startled him. What are you doing? He asked. I'm leaving. Ali looked up quickly. Leaving? Yes. Tonight? Yes. Ali's chest tightened. You're just walking out. Sarah walked toward the stairs calmly. Daniel and I already talked about it. Ali felt like the ground was disappearing beneath his feet again. You already talked about leaving me? Yes. While you were still living here? Yes. Every answer felt like another crack in his heart. Ali stood up suddenly. 7 years, Sarah. She stopped on the stairs but didn't turn around. 7 years, he repeated. And you're throwing it away for someone you barely know. Sarah finally turned to face him. Her expression was cold. I'm choosing a better life. Ali stared at her. What was wrong with the life we had? Sarah's answer was simple. It was small. Ali felt tears forming in his eyes. But he refused to let them fall. So that's it? He asked. Sarah nodded. That's it. She went upstairs. Ali remained standing in the living room, completely frozen. A few minutes later, he heard drawers opening. Suitcases moving. Footsteps. Each sound felt like another piece of his life being packed away. 20 minutes later, Sarah came back down with a suitcase. Ali watched silently. Neither of them spoke. When she reached the door, she paused. For a brief moment, it seemed like she might say something. Maybe apologize. Maybe explain. Maybe show a little regret. But instead she simply said, "I hope you find someone who appreciates you." Ali didn't respond, because the woman standing in front of him no longer felt like the Sarah he had married. She opened the door. Cold air rushed inside. And without looking back, she walked out. The door closed. The house became silent again. But this silence felt different. It wasn't peaceful. It was empty. Ali slowly sat down on the sofa. His mind felt numb. The rain outside kept falling. Time passed. Minutes. Hours. Ali didn't move. The home he had built now felt like a hollow shell. And for the first time in his life, Ali began to wonder something terrifying. If the person you love the most can leave so easily, what is the point of loving anyone at all? That night, Ali didn't sleep. And the darkness inside his heart had only just begun. ###, the man who lost everything *. The morning after Sarah left felt unreal. Ali woke up on the sofa with a stiff neck and a heavy head. For a moment, his mind was blank, floating somewhere between sleep and reality. Then the memories rushed back. The messages. The confrontation. The suitcase. The door closing. Sarah was gone. Ali slowly sat up and looked around the living room. Nothing looked different. The same grey sofa. The same small coffee table. The same framed wedding photo hanging on the wall. But somehow everything had changed. The house felt strangely quiet. Not the peaceful quiet of early mornings, but the hollow quiet of absence. Ali stood up and walked toward the kitchen. Out of habit, he reached for 2 mugs. Then he paused. There was no reason to make 2 cups of tea anymore. He placed 1 mug back. The small action felt heavier than it should have. As the kettle boiled, Ali's eyes drifted toward the refrigerator door. A photo was attached with a small magnet. It was taken on their honeymoon in Scotland. Sarah was smiling in the picture. Her arm wrapped around Ali. Both of them looked happy. Ali stared at the photo for a long time. It felt like he was looking at 2 strangers. The kettle clicked off. Ali poured the tea and sat at the table. But he didn't drink it. His mind kept replaying Sarah's words from the night before. *, you're just not enough for me. *. The sentence echoed over and over inside his head. ###, the days that followed. The next few days passed in a blur. Ali stopped going to work. At first he told himself he just needed a day or 2 to think. But one day turned into 3. Then 5. Then a week. His manager called several times. Ali ignored the calls. Friends sent messages asking if he was okay. Ali didn't reply. He simply existed inside the quiet walls of the house. Sleeping at odd hours. Skipping meals. Staring at nothing. Sometimes he found himself walking into rooms without remembering why he had entered. Other times he would sit on the sofa for hours, lost in thought. Not angry. Not even sad. Just empty. Heartbreak doesn't always explode like a storm. Sometimes it slowly drains the color out of everything. The questions that destroy a man. Ali's mind kept returning to the same painful questions. Was I really that ordinary? Did she ever truly love me? Did she stay all these years out of pity? The human mind has a cruel habit of turning pain inward. Instead of blaming Sarah, Ali began blaming himself. Maybe he should have worked harder. Maybe he should have earned more money. Maybe he should have been more ambitious. Maybe he simply wasn't the kind of man women wanted. Every thought chipped away at his confidence. Every memory became painful. Even the smallest things reminded him of her. Her favorite mug. Her jacket hanging by the door. Her empty side of the bed. One afternoon, Ali finally gathered the strength to walk into the bedroom. The room looked untouched. But Sarah's closet was half empty. The missing clothes made the silence louder. Ali slowly sat on the edge of the bed. For the first time since she left. The tears came. Not dramatic crying. Just quiet tears that rolled down his face as he stared at the floor. 7 years. Gone in a single night. Losing purpose. A week later, Ali's manager finally showed up at the house. The knock on the door startled him. Ali opened it slowly. His manager, Tom, stood outside with a concerned expression. Ali, what's going on, mate? Tom asked. Ali struggled to find words. Just dealing with some personal things. Tom sighed. You haven't shown up for work in 9 days. Ali looked down. I know. Tom hesitated. I'm sorry to say this, but the company can't hold your position forever. Ali nodded silently. I understand. Tom placed a hand on his shoulder. You're a good worker, Ali. But you need to get back on your feet. Ali forced a weak smile. I will. But deep down, he wasn't sure if that was true. A few hours later, an email arrived. His job had officially been terminated. Ali stared at the message on his laptop screen. For a moment, he felt nothing. Then a quiet realization settled in. He had lost more than his marriage. He had lost his routine. His stability. His sense of purpose. Sometimes when life collapses, it doesn't fall apart in one dramatic moment. It falls apart piece by piece. The loneliest evenings. As the days turned into weeks, Ali stopped leaving the house entirely. Food delivery boxes piled near the door. Unopened mail collected on the table. The curtain stayed closed most of the time. Ali avoided mirrors. Because every time he saw his own reflection, he saw someone he barely recognized. A man who looked older. More tired. More defeated. One evening, his phone rang again. This time it was his younger sister, Amina. Ali hesitated before answering. Hello? Ali. Finally, Amina said. I've been trying to reach you for days. I've just been busy. You sound terrible. I'm fine. There was a long pause on the line. Did something happen between you and Sarah? She asked gently. Ali felt his chest tighten. Why would you ask that? She called Mum. Ali froze. What? She said you two separated. The word separated sounded so small compared to the reality. Ali closed his eyes. Yes, he said quietly. Amina's voice softened. I'm so sorry, Ali. He swallowed hard. Don't be. Are you okay? Ali hesitated. Then he lied. Yeah. Amina sighed. You know you can come stay with us for a while. Ali shook his head, even though she couldn't see him. No. I'll manage. Ali? I'll be fine. But after the call ended, Ali realized something painful. He didn't actually believe that. The rainy night. 3 weeks after Sarah left, the house had become unbearable. The silence felt suffocating. Every room held memories. Every corner reminded him of what he had lost. That evening, heavy rain began pouring over the city. The streets were nearly empty. Ali grabbed his jacket and stepped outside for the first time in days. He didn't have a destination. He just walked. Streetlights reflected on the wet pavement. Cars passed occasionally, spraying water as they drove by. Ali walked for nearly an hour without noticing where he was going. His thoughts were loud. Confusing. Painful. Eventually he reached a quiet bus stop near a small park. The bench was damp from the rain, but Ali sat down anyway. He didn't care. The rain continued falling steadily. Cold droplets touched his face. But he didn't move. He simply stared at the empty road. People walked past occasionally. No one paid attention to him. Just another man sitting alone at night. But inside, Ali felt like he was drowning. His mind whispered cruel thoughts. You failed. You weren't good enough. You lost everything. Ali leaned forward and buried his face in his hands. For the first time since Sarah left, he truly felt broken. Not angry. Not hopeful. Just broken. Minutes passed. Then half an hour. The rain softened slightly. Ali didn't notice the footsteps approaching. But someone had stopped near the bench. An older man holding an umbrella stood beside him. The man studied Ali quietly for a moment. Then he spoke in a calm, gentle voice. Son, you look like a man carrying a very heavy heart. Ali slowly lifted his head. The stranger's eyes were kind. Wise. Patient. Ali wiped his face quickly, embarrassed. I'm fine, he muttered. The old man smiled softly. No man sits alone in the rain at midnight because he's fine. Ali didn't respond. The stranger closed his umbrella and sat down beside him. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The rain continued falling around them. Then the old man said something unexpected. Sometimes life breaks us in places we didn't know could break. Ali looked at him. And without realizing it, he felt something he hadn't felt in weeks. Someone was actually listening. He didn't know it yet. But the stranger sitting beside him that night. was about to change the direction of his life. *** The stranger at the bus stop ***. The rain continued falling softly around the empty street. Ali sat quietly on the cold bus stop bench, his shoulders heavy with exhaustion and pain. The streetlights reflected off the wet pavement, creating small pools of golden light in the darkness. Beside him sat the elderly stranger. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The old man rested his umbrella against the bench and looked out toward the quiet road as if he had all the time in the world. Ali wiped his face with his sleeve, slightly embarrassed. "I'm sorry," Ali muttered. "You probably didn't come here to listen to someone's problems." The old man smiled gently. "Sometimes listening is exactly why we arrive somewhere." His voice was calm, steady, the kind of voice that made people feel safe without understanding why. Ali looked at him carefully now. The man appeared to be in his late 60s. His hair was silver and deep lines marked his face, but there was a warmth in his eyes that made him seem approachable. "My name is Rahman," the old man said. Ali nodded slowly. "I'm Ali." Rahman studied him for a moment. "You've been sitting here for a long time." Ali looked down at the wet ground. "I guess I have." Rahman leaned back slightly. "Did someone break your heart?" The question was simple, but it struck directly at the truth. Ali gave a weak laugh. "Is it that obvious?" Rahman smiled softly. A man sitting alone in the rain usually has a story behind him. Ali hesitated. He had spent weeks avoiding conversations about what happened. Avoiding friends. Avoiding family. Avoiding anyone who might ask questions. But somehow, talking to this stranger didn't feel difficult. Maybe it was because Rahman didn't know him. Maybe it was because there was no judgment in the old man's eyes. Or maybe Ali was simply too tired to keep the pain inside anymore. "My wife left me," Ali said quietly. Rahman nodded slowly. "That kind of pain leaves deep wounds." Ali stared ahead. "She didn't just leave, she chose someone else." Rahman listened carefully but didn't interrupt. Ali continued speaking, the words slowly pouring out. "She said I wasn't enough for her." His voice cracked slightly. "She said I was too ordinary." The rain tapped gently against the bus shelter roof. Rahman folded his hands together. "And you believed her?" Ali frowned. "What do you mean?" Rahman turned his head and looked directly at him. "You believed what she said about you." Ali shrugged helplessly. "Well, isn't it obvious?" Rahman shook his head slowly. "No." Ali looked confused. Rahman continued calmly. "When someone betrays you, their actions speak about their character, not your value." Ali stared at the old man. The sentence felt strangely powerful. But his mind resisted it. "If I was enough," Ali said quietly, "she wouldn't have left." Rahman chuckled softly. "Let me ask you something." Ali waited. "Have you ever seen a man throw away a perfectly good watch?" Ali frowned. "Why would someone do that?" "Because he thinks he found a better one." Ali nodded slowly. Rahman continued. "But sometimes the shiny new watch stops working. And the man suddenly realizes the one he threw away was actually more reliable." Ali thought about the metaphor. Rahman leaned forward slightly. Tell me, Ali, if a man throws away a diamond because he prefers glass, does that make the diamond worthless? Ali shook his head slowly. No. Rahman smiled. Exactly. The word settled deeply inside Ali's mind. For weeks he had believed Sarah's words as absolute truth. Asterisk, you're not enough. Asterisk. But now someone was challenging that belief. Rahman stood up suddenly. Come, he said. Ali looked surprised. Where? Tea. Ali blinked. Tea? Rahman pointed toward a small cafe across the street that was still open. Every broken heart deserves a warm cup of tea. Ali hesitated. But then he stood up. For the first time in weeks, he followed someone without thinking. The cafe was quiet. Only 2 other customers sat near the window. Rahman ordered 2 cups of tea and a small plate of biscuits. They sat at a corner table. Ali wrapped his hands around the warm cup. The heat felt comforting. For a few minutes they simply drank tea. Then Rahman spoke again. Tell me about your life before tonight. Ali thought for a moment. There's not much to tell. Rahman raised an eyebrow. Everyone's life has a story. Ali sighed. I work hard. I try to take care of the people I love. That's about it. Rahman nodded. And you think that makes you ordinary? Ali shrugged. It's nothing special. Rahman leaned forward slightly. Ali, do you know what this world has too little of? Ali shook his head. Good people. Ali frowned slightly. Rahman continued. Kind men. Loyal men. Honest men. Ali looked down at the table. But that wasn't enough for her. Rahman smiled gently. Some people don't recognize value until it's gone. Ali stayed silent. Rahman's voice softened. But that doesn't mean your value disappeared. The words felt comforting. Almost healing. Rahman took a sip of tea and continued speaking. When I was young, I lost someone I loved deeply. Ali looked up. Rahman nodded slowly. She left me for a wealthier man. Ali blinked in surprise. You? Rahman chuckled. Yes. Even old men were once young and foolish. What happened? Rahman shrugged. For years I believed I wasn't good enough. Ali listened carefully. But one day, Rahman continued, I realized something important. What? Rahman smiled. People who walk out of your life are not always your loss. Ali frowned. They're your lesson. Ali repeated the words quietly. Your lesson? Rahman nodded. They teach you who deserves your loyalty and who doesn't. Ali stared into his tea. The pain inside his chest still existed. But something new had appeared beside it. Perspective. Rahman finished his tea and stood up. Ali looked surprised. You're leaving? Rahman nodded. Yes. Ali suddenly felt a strange sense of urgency. Wait. Rahman paused. Ali stood up as well. I don't know how to thank you. Rahman smiled warmly. You don't need to. But you helped me. Rahman placed a gentle hand on Ali's shoulder. Your kindness was never your weakness. Ali looked at him. Rahman continued softly. One day someone will value it. Those words stayed in the air for a moment. Then Rahman picked up his umbrella. Take care of yourself, Ali. And just like that, the old man walked out into the rainy night. Ali stood in the cafe doorway watching him disappear down the street. The rain had stopped. And for the first time in weeks, Ali felt something he thought he had lost forever. Hope. Part 5. The night Ali met Rahman did not magically erase his pain. Heartbreak does not disappear overnight. But something inside him had shifted. For the first time since Sarah left, Ali no longer felt completely lost. Rahman's words echoed in his mind again and again. People who betray you are not always your loss, they are your lesson. That sentence stayed with him long after that rainy night. The next morning, Ali woke up earlier than usual. Sunlight slipped through the curtains, filling the quiet house with a soft glow. For weeks, mornings had felt meaningless. But that morning felt slightly different. Ali sat on the edge of the bed for a long time, thinking about everything Rahman had said. He realized something important. He had spent the last few weeks blaming himself for Sarah's choices. But maybe, just maybe, her decision said more about her than it did about him. Ali stood up and walked into the bathroom. He looked at himself in the mirror. For the first time in weeks, he didn't immediately look away. His face still looked tired. His eyes still carried sadness. But the man staring back at him no longer looked completely broken. Ali washed his face and whispered quietly to himself. Today, I start again. The first few days weren't easy. Change rarely is. Ali began by cleaning the house. It sounds simple. But removing the reminders of his old life was surprisingly difficult. He packed Sarah's remaining belongings into boxes. Every item brought back memories. The scarf she wore during winter. The book she used to read before bed. The photo frames that once held pictures of happy moments. Each object felt like a small goodbye. But Ali knew something important now. Holding on to the past would not bring it back. Slowly, the house began to feel different. Not empty. Just quieter. Cleaner. Like a blank page waiting for a new story. A week later, Ali began searching for work again. His savings were limited, and he knew he couldn't remain unemployed forever. At first, the process felt discouraging. Many companies rejected his applications. Others never replied. But Ali remembered Rahman's words. Your kindness was never weakness. So he kept trying. Eventually, he found a job at a small community delivery service that helped elderly residents receive groceries and medicine. The pay was modest. But the work felt meaningful. Ali spent his days delivering supplies to people who genuinely appreciated his help. Many of the elderly customers lived alone. Some of them didn't receive visitors for weeks. Ali began staying a few extra minutes at each delivery. Talking. Listening. Helping with small tasks. One woman, Mrs. Parker, often said something that stayed with him. "You're a good man, Ali." At first, those words felt strange. But slowly, Ali began to believe them. Months passed. Life slowly began to stabilize. Ali developed a routine again. Work in the morning. Exercise in the evening. Occasionally meeting friends or visiting his family. The sadness never completely disappeared. But it no longer controlled his life. Instead, it became something quieter. A memory. A lesson. Ali also started volunteering at a small local charity that helped struggling families. Helping others gave him something he had lost during his darkest days. Purpose. And with purpose came confidence. Ali realized something surprising. The version of himself that Sarah called ordinary was actually someone many people valued. A dependable man. A kind man. A man who cared about others. And those qualities were not weaknesses. They were strengths. Almost 6 months after that rainy night, Ali was walking through the same park near the bus stop. It had become part of his evening routine. The trees were full of green leaves now. Children played near the playground. Birds filled the air with soft songs. The place looked completely different from that cold, rainy night months ago. Ali sat on the same bench where he once felt completely broken. He smiled slightly at the memory. Then suddenly, he noticed someone familiar walking slowly along the path. A tall elderly man. Silver hair. Holding an umbrella even though it wasn't raining. Ali stood up quickly. "Mr. Rahman." The old man turned. His eyes widened with recognition. "Ali." They both smiled warmly. Rahman walked closer. "Well, you look like a different man." Ali laughed softly. "I feel like one." They sat down together on the bench. Rahman studied him carefully. "There's peace in your eyes now." Ali nodded slowly. "You helped me find it." Rahman shook his head gently. "No. I only reminded you of something you had forgotten." Ali looked curious. "What's that?" Rahman smiled. "Your worth." Ali sat quietly for a moment. Then he said something honestly. "That night, I thought my life was over." Rahman nodded. "Pain can make the future look very dark. But you showed me something different." Rahman tilted his head slightly. "What did I show you?" Ali smiled. "That sometimes strangers remind us of the goodness the world still has." Rahman's eyes softened. "That is the responsibility of humanity." Ali frowned slightly. "What do you mean?" Rahman explained calmly. "When someone is drowning in pain, even a small act of kindness can become a lifeline." Ali nodded. "That night, you were my lifeline." Rahman chuckled quietly. "And now perhaps you will be someone else's." Ali thought about the elderly people he helped through his job. The families he supported through volunteering. The strangers who smiled when he helped them. Maybe Rahman was right. Maybe kindness travels further than we realize. As the sun slowly began to set, Rahman stood up. "It's time for me to go," he said. Ali stood up too. Before Rahman left, he turned back and said one last thing. "Ali, remember this." Ali listened carefully. The people who hurt you teach you pain. He paused. But the people who help you heal teach you humanity. Ali nodded. Those words felt powerful. Rahman gave him a warm smile. Then he walked away down the path. Ali stood there for a moment watching him disappear into the evening light. 6 months earlier, he had sat on that bench believing his life was finished. Now, he understood something important. Life doesn't end when someone walks away from you. Sometimes, it simply begins again. And sometimes the people who change your life the most are the ones you never expected to meet. Pain may come from the people we trust the most, but kindness can arrive from the most unexpected places. And sometimes, a stranger can remind us of the strength we forgot we had. **** the end ****.